This is the Fifth Star Podcast. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Albert.
And this is a podcast where we're trying to find our next 5-star movie. And when we find that movie, this podcast will have a bathtub fall on top of it.
Let's go!
Schwap!
So on this episode, we are reviewing Marty Supreme, starring Timothée Chalamet. And he plays a 1950s ping pong player who is trying to win a world championship, and he's trying to raise money, and it's about him trying to hustle and make his dreams come true.
Based on a real guy.
Based on a real guy. We'll talk about that during this episode, kind of separate the fact from the fiction. So we wrote down what we secretly rated this movie, and we will first talk spoiler free, and then we'll reveal our scores.
Yeah.
We have the first guess what we think each other gave it. I'm gonna guess that you gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
Whoa.
Because I feel like you might not like this character, I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess you gave it a 3.0. Okay. Feels pretty safe.
3.0.
I don't know, though. Watch you love it. Watch it be your favorite movie.
We shall see. So, yeah, we'll go spoiler free. We'll go spoiler free first, and then we'll reveal our scores.
Yes.
All right. So, what did you think of Timmy and his performance?
Once again, I know that some people don't agree with this, but I just feel like he disappears every time. I stop thinking that it's Timothée Chalamet.
This is a good thing, right?
I think it's a great thing
because
he disappears into his roles. I've heard that he's like a little method, because I heard for this movie he wore contacts so that he actually could wear the glasses and the glasses would actually be corrective, which is crazy to me.
And I heard also that this was like the director Josh Safdie's like way of making his eyes look smaller.
Oh,
that's kind of why
I thought it was Timothy's choice that he wanted to like.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been both.
Maybe
knowing Timothée, like he also took like ping pong lessons for like months.
Yeah,
like professionally.
He was good, because like I could tell, there were probably times where they had a double for sure, but then for most of the shots, I was like, he clearly knows how to play, and like he knows what he's doing to some extent, which is impressive. And so he kind of gets method. He learned how to play guitar for the Bob Dylan movie, and I feel like he just becomes these people. So I was really impressed with his performance. I think overall the movie was kind of mixed for me.
Okay.
In that he is kind of a horrible character, so he's hard to root for him.
That was right.
You were right about that. And I thought this movie was gonna be about how he made the orange ping pong ball.
Okay.
But I was like very wrong, and the movie ended up being about like a million other different things. So I was kind of like thrown off by that. I think my expectations were this is gonna be about ping pong, and the movie's really not that much about ping pong.
So if you guys have been watching and listening, you know that I try to go into a movie completely blind, not knowing anything.
And you didn't.
Literally, all I knew was this movie was called Marty Supreme, and it starred Timothée Chalamet. I didn't even know who directed it. I kind of quickly saw the poster, but from the poster, I couldn't really tell either.
You can't really tell,
Yeah, he's just like in a wife beater or something and wearing glasses. So I had seen like a screenshot that I wish I hadn't seen initially, but I saw like flags, and I thought it was gonna be like him playing a historical political figure or something.
Fascinating.
Yeah, like a Citizen Kane type like story. And then I find out, it's because he's like on a national team playing like in a Olympics type thing, like the World Championships for ping pong. So
now I'm really curious.
Yeah,
what do you think?
So the movie starts, and then you see this guy in 1952 New York City shoe salesman, and I'm like, this movie's about a shoe salesman. And then I thought this had the best title sequence opening I can remember in the past, like, I don't know how many decades.
Okay.
You have like, a little kind of quick make out scene that's happening, and then it suddenly goes to this animated like sperm egg thing happening.
Yeah.
And then the egg just starts turning into a ping pong ball, and then it says Marty Supreme on it. And then I was literally like, oh my gosh, is this a ping pong movie? And I got so excited.
I was like dying to tell him that it was a ping pong movie, but I didn't.
I love playing ping pong. It's one of my favorite like sports or hobbies I like playing. So I loved the ping pong aspect of this movie.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, okay, you
did. It was so fun.
Yeah, leading up to this movie, like there was all the promotion about like orange, this and that.
Oh yeah,
like,
the marketing was amazing.
Yeah, like the was that Empire State Building being lit up in orange, and I had no idea what the whole orange deal was about.
Yeah.
And then this starts, and it's like, oh my gosh, is this the guy who invented the orange ping pong ball? So it turns out that's not true.
Really?
Yeah. So in the movie is Marty Miser, but in the real character is Marty Reisman. But the Marty Reisman wasn't involved with like inventing orange ping pong ball. Apparently the orange ping pong ball was kind of like a novelty thing that different brands had kind of done, but it just wasn't regulation for a long time. And then at some point it like became regulation, I think somewhat recently.
Okay.
Because the visibility of it. So yeah, like so that part, but watching it, I just was like so sucked into like the idea of this guy. And not knowing who the real guy is based on, like I was watching it like just kind of going along with the story.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I love, like even as I've like found out more about the real life of this guy, I love that the movie wasn't trying to be a biopic. Like it wasn't about trying to get all the details of his life right. And I think a lot of times biopics can get constrained and bogged down in those details. Like, oh, this event had to happen at this time.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're fighting like kind of the narrative and dramatic tension of like, oh, if I change these things, it'll make the story more engaging, but it's not really what happened. This, like just changing the last name and making it inspired by somebody.
It was a lot more freedom.
Yeah. And you were able to just like really tell like the best story that you want. But reading more on it, like the personality seems like dead on.
Yeah.
Like his swag, his like kind of flamboyantness,
his goal
like,
and drive.
Yeah. And him being like a hustler. This guy like in the 50s really was kind of like at the peak of the game. Watching it, I was like, I don't know how many actors could have really pulled off like that kind of bravado, confidence, like foolishness, like just everything about what he put into that character just seemed so unique to maybe like Chalamet and his kind of aura.
It was cool too seeing like people who aren't traditionally actors in this movie, like the Shark Tank guy. I forgot his name.
Kevin O'Leary.
That was crazy, and he did amazing.
Yeah.
And then also seeing Tyler, the Creator. I thought he did great too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know you were an actor. I mean, maybe he's acted in stuff that I just haven't seen, but like him showing up kind of shocked me.
Yeah. When I saw Kevin O'Leary, I was like, this guy looks familiar, but
but you couldn't place it.
Yeah, I couldn't place it until like way later. And I was like, no way, that was a Shark Tank guy. And this was his film debut.
He did so good.
He did so good.
He was very convincing.
Yep.
There's an ending scene that we won't talk about yet, but he like absolutely killed it. So I thought a lot of the acting was really good. The only person that I was kind of about was Gwyneth Paltrow, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought she was really good.
I thought she was good, but like, I don't know, maybe it's like the amount of plastic surgery she's gotten. She doesn't make facial expressions anymore. Like I remember watching her older stuff where she would make facial expressions, and like now it felt like really just bland to me. I don't know, and that was like kind of sad to see, because I mean I do think she's a good actress, but like the fact that she couldn't convey things so much anymore, I just felt a little bit, I don't know.
I thought it was just kind of her character though, because in the character's kind of like desensitized herself to the situation she finds herself in life.
She felt like the least real out of everybody, and then also because it's a period piece.
Yeah.
You kind of like want people to look like they fit in the 50s, and she didn't quite look like she fit in the 50s for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could see that.
Maybe I was too in my head about it, but I kept kind of thinking that.
Now, her character, the Milton character, the Rockwell character, who Kevin O'Leary is playing. Those two people are not really based on any real person in Marty's life.
I did see that, yeah.
But like all the ping pong stuff is pretty close. Like, yeah, it didn't happen in like London or Japan. It happened in like Bombay, and so some of the locations are different, but essentially like he really was like potentially the front runner to be best in the world, but then he lost to this like new up and coming Japanese guy who comes out of nowhere. A lot of those kinds of things like were based on real events. But one question I had was, what did you take as like the reason why this Japanese guy was so good? Like he comes out of nowhere. What was like the thing that made him so good?
I mean, I guess it was a combination of the paddle he was using.
Okay. Do they explain? Because I missed some of this in the movie apparently, and then reading about it later, I was like, oh, I don't know that was communicated in the movie. So what do you understand as like what was special about the paddle he used?
Well, for one, it had like a different grip, and then it was like a softer padding, so it was like almost silent when he like would hit it.
Okay.
Which they said in the movie, and he clearly had like trained with it for a long time. And I think the Japanese culture really exemplifies excellence, I think. And so him being like the best makes sense to me. And then the fact that he was like mostly deaf made me wonder if like that made him better somehow.
That's kind of the vibe I was getting to, like all these kinds of things. So first of all, the guy who plays that character, he's an actual deaf tennis player.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. And like from what I understand, there is no advantage. I mean, maybe you block out the crowd noise or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's just you and the ball.
Yeah, but I would imagine like if anything, it's more of a hindrance. But in terms of the grip, so I thought watching the movie that the main thing was that he was using a different grip. The normal one is called like handshake grip, like this. And it's funny because like growing up when I was like learning ping pong, we used to call this the American grip. And then
it's totally the American grip.
And then we used to call like this the Chinese grip.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
Which is technically called the penhole grip, right?
Yeah.
So he does use this grip, and I thought that was the advantage. Now, I've played this way, but I use the like American grip
way.
Yeah, the handshake way. And then all the kind of like, even back in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up, like the best players in the world were like Chinese and Asian players who used the penhole grip. And like having played this way too, like it does make your forehand better because it's like a natural way that your wrist kind of goes. Yeah, you get like crazy topspin.
Yeah.
The downside is that on the backhand side, you're basically just like blocking the ball because it's really an awkward movement.
Yeah.
So like now there's apparently like a new hybrid version where you actually do the backhand, you curl your fingers in, and it's called like reverse penhole grip, where you actually hit it with this side.
Cool.
Which I never even knew that was like a new thing.
That's cool.
So I really want to like try learning that. But apparently now the whole like American Chinese thing is kind of gone away because most of the top players use handshake now. So
why was he good?
So the reason was that up until this Japanese guy comes, the paddles they were using were called hard bats, which was basically like
no padding.
Essentially, is like just wood with little dimpled like rubber kind of thing.
Yep.
But it's like hard rubber.
Yeah.
And that's what Marty had like practiced his whole life. And then this Japanese guy shows up
with a padded paddle,
sponge and rubber, and he's like basically like, this guy's cheating. That's why he makes such a big deal about like, this guy's cheating.
Because he can't return a single serve because it's so
there's
fun.
So much
the
spin
cut
on it.
Yes. Is crazy.
And so this guy then just wipes everyone out when Marty was kind of like the presumed number one, and loses to this guy actually really early on in the tournament. So a little different in the details of how it played out versus the movie, and then just totally revolutionizes the game. And so like now everyone uses padded with sponge. Yeah. And so that was like the big reason. And I kind of wish like the movie focused on that a little bit more. But that's just me being like a ping pong geek, and I would have appreciated that. But
they do talk about it. I mean, he talks about how it's like silent. They make a big deal about that.
Yeah.
Like it's barely making
sound is very
a noise. Yeah.
Yeah. But the real Marty Weissman, like he actually went around trying to do exhibitions in like Asia to prove that like the original style was still like viable.
Yeah.
So he was trying to like beat people like using these kinds of modern paddles in order to prove like, hey, like this is almost like an illegitimate way that you guys are playing the game. Like you're changing the game too much. It's just totally a different game now, you know?
Yeah.
It's much more of a spinny,
because I
looping
hate
game
playing
and
with
all
the
that
hard
kind of
battle.
stuff. Yeah,
I
it's
hate
just so
it.
different. Yeah, me too. Like I can't really, there's no grip and all this kind of stuff. So apparently like Marty Reisman, when he was much older, he actually like maybe was the oldest guy to win like a big tournament. He was in his 60s or something.
Oh my word.
And then he won like a world hard bat championship. So I mean, but I guess like not as many people play that style anymore. So maybe that's why.
Maybe. But
And
still, that's impressive.
it is impressive.
At 60, even though I'm not as much of a ping pong nerd as you are, I think the parts of the movie that really hit for me were all the ping pong scenes.
Okay, interesting.
The scenes that were about him running around doing crazy stuff, I wasn't as much a fan of.
You know what? I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought that the movie felt like it started lagging and losing my interest when
it got away from ping pong.
Yeah, it was less about the ping pong. And I was wondering, is that because I just love ping pong? But hearing you say that, I think the story structure itself is driven by his like pursuit and passion for ping pong and like wanting to win and be the greatest. And even when he's having like all these like relational conflicts like with women in his life, it's because like he wants to like pursue this goal, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of worked, but yeah, in spoilers, I think we can talk more about the specifics. What do you think about the fact that this got 9 Oscar nominations, because the Oscars just got sent out their list today, and Timothée Chalamet is now the youngest male actor to get 3 Oscar noms. Yeah. And he didn't win the other 2.
Right.
What do you think?
I think he's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna win this one.
Yeah. Do you think he deserves it?
I am a little biased because I thought Michael B. Jordan did so good playing twins.
That's true.
But I do think that Timothy embodied the character maybe better. Yeah. Just the fact that he completely like disappeared and I forgot it was him.
Yeah. And
then afterwards I was like, oh yeah, that was Paul Atreides or Bob Dylan. You know, you're not thinking about that in the movie at all. And I'm very impressed with how he's able to disappear.
Yeah. I mean, Sinners has a lot of love. It set a new record for the most nominations ever by a single movie in a year.
Sinners did?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. The previous record was 14.
Okay.
And Sinners got 16.
Wow. So more than one battle?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Sinners over one battle after another.
Well, it might have some legs for Best Picture.
I hope so.
One Battle has 13 nominations. Sinners has 16.
Wow. All right, let's not talk about Oscars too much because we're gonna have a whole episode dedicated to that.
All right. Well, you guessed that I would give. Why don't you go first?
Yeah. All right. So you guessed I'd give it a 2.5. 3.5.
Oh wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guessed I'll give it a 3.0, and I gave it a 4.0. Yeah.
We were both a whole point
Yeah,
off.
I know. So
we both liked it more than we thought.
Yeah, I thought that I thought that
it?
because of how skeevy this character is.
But he changes. And
You're right.
I give a lot of credit.
Okay.
Now
so
that we're
spoilers, yes.
He changes at the end and he gets so humbled. So humbled at the end that I can't help but feel for him. The amount of shame that he gets put through at the end, you can't help but feel for him, right? But then secondarily, him choosing to be a father, I guess that's kind of that final moment is, I think what it conveys is that he is now choosing to take on the responsibility of fatherhood. Taking that on was the first choice he made that wasn't selfish.
That's true.
So that's why I felt overall he came to the right conclusion at the end. And so it went up to a half point for me.
Got it. So I am a sucker for follow your dream characters and movies. Even if
I should have considered that. Dang it.
Even if they're mobsters and gangsters, Goodfellas and all that, I love it. I love stories of people who are willing to risk it all. And that's a major theme in this movie, I think, that they did really well, which is following your dream and not settling for safe. And to follow your dream is gonna take risk. And in my mind, if you think about athletes who grow up as little boys or girls, like wanting to go play professionally in a sport. Like just the numbers game of how far-fetched that is for you to be able to like get to that point. I feel like you have to almost have that kind of Marty mentality.
Yeah.
Where like the one line where he says to Gwyneth Paltrow, like, she's like, oh, what have you thought about what you're going to do if you fail? And he's like, that doesn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
he can't fail.
Yeah. Like in his mind, it's like, it's not even an option. That's almost the kind of like dogged determination you have to have, like belief in yourself when no one else does, no matter how much you fail or everything's stacked against you. You're like, I know what I can do. I really admire that, you know? And it's the movie, I thought, did a really good job of like juxtaposing his character with Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like, she was at the top of her game. She was like the most sought after actress and all this stuff. But then she says she had a kid, and then she kind of settled in a way for safe, right? Married a wealthy man and all this kind of, and she's super unhappy. And maybe it's not, you only can be one or the other.
Yeah.
But in a movie, like it feels right to have that kind of like opposite approach to life. You know, so even when he's making not the best choices, like it feels so motivated. Like I can understand why he's doing it. Uncut Gems, which is, you know,
his other movie.
Yeah, the movie that the Safdie brothers did. This one, Josh did it by himself. I did not like Uncut Gems, even though it has a similar kind of frenetic energy and those things are similar. But in my mind, the big difference was like Uncut Gems. Did you watch Uncut Gems?
No, but my husband, that was the first thing he said when we came out of the theater.
Okay.
He was like, that movie was like almost the same.
Yes.
As Uncut Gems.
Yeah. But for me, like I really didn't like Uncut Gems because like it's a guy who's like gambling and all of it is luck and he just like cannot stop himself. It's an addiction, right? Whereas with Marty, like it's more of an obsession, I guess, a passion. Like, but the difference is that he actually is good, right? You're convinced that if he actually just can get the money, like he might actually be able to turn his life around. He might actually be the champion, right? He's that good. So,
but you don't want him to be the champion.
I wanted him to.
I didn't.
Why?
I wanted him to win that very last game.
Okay.
But I didn't want him to be the champion because that's not what he needed. That's what he wanted. And
okay,
being a scuzzy character and getting what you want is never the right answer for a story, in my opinion. You have to be scuzzy and then get what you need, which is a good old-fashioned spanking. I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, talk about Timothée Chalamet's dedication. That scene was originally a stunt double.
The spanking?
Getting spanked.
Oh.
And Timothy was like,
you would do it.
I'll do it. Let's do it for real.
I'll show my butt on
And
the
then
big screen.
They started with a prop paddle, and then it broke. So he had to do it again with a real one. Yeah. I mean, give the man an Oscar.
Dedication. Okay, now I get it. Okay. Now I understand why he's winning everything.
Or getting nominated and not winning anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
well, he won the other two.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like what's interesting though is his character. They talk a lot about how he's Jewish and how much that influences his background, but then also his like current circumstances, even because this is like so close off of the Holocaust and World War II and everything. And one of the shaming tactics at the end was that they were gonna have him kiss a pig, and that's like, I mean, I don't know if he was religiously Jewish, but like being Jewish and kissing.
I didn't even think about that part of it. Yeah. It's not kosher.
It's not kosher at all. It's like the most unclean animal or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there were lots of other times that they layered in his Jewish background into the story. Like he makes a crazy joke.
Yeah.
That I think most of the internet is, you know, like there's a very polarizing opinion about it. But then later when he meets, because the joke is about his friend who he does what is it called? The dream.
Oh, the Globetrotters.
with. The joke was about him. And so when you find out that they're friends, it does make the joke seem more like a friendly joke rather than like a harsh one, I guess. But then his whole backstory is wild. Like with the bees and the honey and stuff.
So that's a true story. Yeah, it's based on a true story.
And was it actually his friend's story?
No,
Marty's friend?
no. I think Josh Safdie like heard this story from a guy who was a ping pong player. Oh, maybe it was because it was a actual Jewish ping pong player who was who lived through the Holocaust, survived the Holocaust, and told that story. And Josh wrote it into the movie.
Because I was trying to figure out, like, okay, what is the significance of this story to the whole thing?
Yeah.
And my only conclusion that I can really think of is that humiliation sort of leads to selflessness, was where my mind went, because it's kind of like a humiliating thing to put honey all over you and then have people lick it off of you. Like, that feels very vulnerable, but he's doing it for them. Like, it's a selfless act. And so I kind of felt like, okay, is that what they're trying to say about the ending? Like, Marty is being humiliated, and it's only in his humiliation that he is finally able to do something for someone else. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch, but like, that's kind of where my mind went of like,
Yeah, I guess for me, it was more about like survival, and this is just how bad it was, and this is what people were willing to do for the
which
sake
that goes
of
along with the
survival.
theme too.
Yeah, and so
For the sake
I
of
think
ping
for
pong.
Marty, in a lot of ways, he's just trying to survive the day.
Well, he's
just
trying to get to Japan, but yeah.
Yeah, but even that is like he's in debt, and you know
He
all
thinks
this
that's
kind
the
of stuff.
source of his.
Yeah, and so his whole like sustenance, his life is based on being able to make a living with this thing that he loves to do, right?
Yeah.
And that he's actually good at.
Right.
The real Marty, he actually said something like, I never played a game for fun. Like, you know, every game was, or you can mess around when you're playing for fun, like in a tournament or something. But when you're playing for money, like your life is on the line, right?
But the thing is, he did choose it. Because he could have been a shoe salesman,
which apparently,
and he was the best one.
Yeah. Which apparently the real story is he was for a few months a shoe salesman, but he got fired because he kept coming to work late. So,
that checks out.
Yeah, so he wasn't really quite as sought after as like he was in the movie. I think that whole passion and drive that he has, you're kind of like, okay, what is it motivated by? Is it just to make money? Is it just pride? And then that final moment where he's, you know, you're questioning, okay, is he even gonna actually throw the match in the exhibition? Because then that will kind of solve all of his problems. And then he actually does go through with it and loses. And you're like, oh wow, like has he matured? Has he like learned his lesson? But then when the pig is being brought out, he's like, and in that moment of tension to me was like the best part of the movie. Like
it was so good.
You're just like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna say something? Is he not? You know, and you're not. But because of how crazy the movie had been, like you're not quite sure exactly.
True.
And then it does the inevitable, which is like, no, I'm gonna match you, play you for real, and all this kind of stuff. And then like when he wins, and then just like collapses to the floor. Afterwards, he comes back home and it's just like normal. In my mind, it became like about. It wasn't about the fame necessarily. It wasn't about all that stuff. It was this like internal thing that he had. This drive, this kind of vision and pursuit he had, and he just needed to prove to himself, you know, like he just needed to like accomplish it, know that he could accomplish it, and then he's good, you know. I think it was like in that moment realizing like I did what I set out to do, and I'm satisfied now, you know. I can like move on with my life.
He only could have peace of mind if he could know he could accomplish it.
Yeah. Like I beat this guy fair and square.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not the world champion and all that, like I can die knowing
that I
beat
did
him. Like, I was the best at that time. You
know?
I
think at the end of the day, it was never about the money for him. It was always about just being the best.
Yeah. Which is so interesting because everything he does is motivated by like the money hustle, right?
No, but he only wants the money so he can prove he's the best.
Yeah,
like that, it's not about the money. It's just if he could get to Japan without money, he would.
Yeah. Okay. So there was something really interesting about a potential alternate ending that was originally like written into the story, which was that remember when he's backstage with Kevin O'Leary.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin O'Leary makes a comment about, I'm a vampire, been around forever and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie was supposed to end with like fast forward like into the 80s. Marty is like an old person and then takes his like granddaughter or something to like a show or concert. And then Kevin O'Leary's character comes up and then bites him in the neck.
No way.
Yeah. And then they actually had like digital teeth, like, you know, for like that scene and all this kind of
I
stuff.
would have hated that.
Yeah. And then the studio cut it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But it you know, it's a funny ending, I think.
It's too weird.
But yeah.
My least favorite part, and the part I would probably cut, was just the whole dog saga.
I agree.
I hated it. I thought it was too peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't end up impacting much, and
yeah,
it felt like a waste of time.
I agree. And it like, at least with his relationships with Gwyneth Paltrow and then Rachel, like, it's all kind of tied in with like his pursuit of wanting to do this thing. I think the bowling alley like hustle, that was great.
Yeah, that was good.
I think give us one more hustle scene or sequence and conflict that happens of how he gets beat up and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, like the whole thing with the mobster and the dog, and then Rachel gets involved in that.
The bathtub.
Yeah, the bathtub. Like the moment the bathtub dropped through, I was like, what the heck?
Happening?
Yeah. It almost like threw me out at that point. Whenever he's doing that kind of stuff, it seems so far removed from like what he needs to accomplish that it feels like inconsequential.
If it actually happened, I'd be like, okay, I get why they included it. But like, I don't think any of it did. And I'm like, this feels so random.
Yeah, it feels like, so Safdie actually did base this on an autobiography.
Right, the book.
Yeah, and then so it seems like the beginning and end of the movie essentially is the book. And then in the middle, he wrote in his stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of the sense I get.
Yeah.
And a big part of that was like the whole dog stuff. Yeah. And then, because then when the moment of like his humiliation and he gets the ride, then for him to have to like get the whole call and have to go to like Jersey or whatever and do the whole dog thing and get shot at and all this other stuff was like,
what are we doing
here? Why are we going on this detour at this point in the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is what kind of dropped it for me a bit.
I agree.
I think it could have been so solid maybe without that.
Yeah. And the movie was already 2.5 hours. So you cut all that out. It's like solid 2 hours. Just like.
True.
Great pacing. Yeah.
We didn't need another bad guy either. We already had plenty of bad guys.
Yes. I know. The Rockwell villain was so good. Just really well done.
And then I also saw people saying like the cops stopped chasing him. And also the girl's husband stopped.
Oh.
Like there were a lot of people that kind of just like gave up on
him.
And I'm like, okay, but why did they give up? And this weird mobster guy. Anyway.
The other thing that I thought at the end was like, I thought largely the ending was satisfying, but I just kept thinking, what about the orange balls? You know, because I know that this is the standard now. So I was thinking like, oh, okay, he loses or he doesn't get to play in the tournament, but he's going to come home and then find out like he's a millionaire because of all these orange balls selling. Yeah.
Sold.
But they just like never picked that up again, you know?
Man.
But it's probably because he wasn't really the guy who came up with Orange Ball.
Well, yeah, and it's so funny because the marketing, like I mentioned before, has been so crazy for this movie, and it's mainly because of Timothée Chalamet.
Okay.
Like he's been marketing the heck out of it. He came up with there was a orange blimp flying over LA that had Marty Supreme written on it, and that was his idea.
Oh.
And he had like this whole rumor going around that he was this British rapper.
Oh.
And everybody believed it until he proved them wrong. And then he made the Las Vegas globe turn orange.
The sphere
turn orange.
That was all like Chalamet's ideas and
stuff?
This
is like mostly all his ideas,
wow.
And like his marketing.
That's cool.
My favorite is the marketing campaign Zoom call that got leaked. And it's just a complete satire, but it's so funny. It's on YouTube. Go watch it.
It's definitely become like a cultural
phenomenon
in a way. But the movie's also really entertaining.
That's true.
And his performance is fantastic. So
yeah.
I do think he has a really great shot at winning the Oscar.
I do too.
And Yeah. But the rest of the Oscar nominations, like they're solid,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like there's so much competition in some of those other categories
Yeah.
that I don't know if it's gonna win anything else.
Yeah.
I think we would both recommend the movie.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought if you watched it,
And you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Letterboxd, or Apple Podcasts.
and join us next time as we continue our quest for the 5th star.